You know, I love Nullscape. So as I was contemplating in the void like I normally do when I need any idea for any sort of video, I realized I need time for a really cool video. So you know what? Screw it. Slop time. It is time to rank all 58 curses in Nullscape, both regular and greater. Listen, I know that a million different people have made a video on this, but hey, I need time for production quality, okay? And because I don't like to clickbait, I'll even put them all in like the 3 categories from my thumbnail, from Antichrist to meh to perfect. These will all be ranked from my personal opinions on them, how likely I am to choose them in my runs, and just how fun I think they are. That means that no, some of my top picks are not going to be meta in the slightest because the meta is boring. There are 58 curses, including greater curses, so this took some time to make. Anyway, if you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it, subscribe, and join my community Discord. With all of that out of the way, please enjoy. Shotgun is the least fun curse in this game to go against, and it is a curse that has gotten me killed so much that I might actually prefer going onto Twitter to say I don't like Taylor Swift's music and get doxxed and skinned alive by the 17 billion Swifties. Blade Bombardment is equally as unfun, but at least you can see what killed you. This sword is being able to backstab you doesn't bother me as much as the other classes because I play Glider, but it is still a royal pain in the ass. Mass infection is how I'm going to describe COVID-19 to my children. That is to say, it gave you cancer and broke both of your legs so that you couldn't even go to the nearest hospital. The only saving grace is that flesh moves at the pace of a geriatric snail, so you can stay away from it for quite a while. I've actually had a concussion before, and I have to say, it was less debilitating than this curse is. I love not being able to jump in my parkour roguelike game where jumping is the main mechanic. It just makes your jump pads worse. That really isn't that big of an issue, but it's still annoying. When I think of jump pad, I think of trampoline, not a firm mattress. I love gambling. More RNG out of your control being forced upon you is never good unless you live in Vegas, I guess, in which case, have at it. Closer Husk reminds me of a story that Michael Jackson told where he rented out a whole store and hired actors to pretend they were normal people. Listen, I know I have the content creator role, but the second I got it, I started getting spammed with friend requests like I don't know you people. Oh yeah, and Closer Husk sucks to go against too. Scorched Earth actually isn't all that bad, all things considered, though it is still more annoying than it has any right to be. Remember guys, the slogan is stop, drop, and roll, not run and feed more oxygen into the flames. More gambling! 3 at random enemies every round, that's so fun! I don't like this curse. Tantrum is the first really fun curse on the list, though only if you're fully tricked out with all the speed upgrades and or playing Charger. Otherwise, this clingy piece of shit will rock your shit fast. Savory Ring is another one of those RNG curses that adds enemies, although this one isn't that bad as it really only adds them at the end of the round during collapse. Plus it lines your pockets a little, so that's always nice. Scattered Gifts just triggers my OCD and depth perception. Nothing on the curse itself, but you'll never see me picking it myself. Have you ever wanted Bell to become a mini Telefragger? Well, now you can with Resonating Shockwaves. If you're smart about dodging Springer, then this can be really easy, but the thing about Springer curses is that they're just really more annoying than they have any right to be. Bloody Meat is just kind of there. I don't think the buff is substantial enough to put it in the true Antichrist ranking, but I don't like flesh that automatically debuffs it by about 10 places on my personal scale. Yet another flesh curse, this time infecting jump pads. As a glider player, I use jump pads constantly, so this is a really big annoyance. But I will admit, it adds a little thrill that otherwise wouldn't be there, even if it is more of a show-off curse than anything else. Invisible enemies that can shoot you from a distance. Typically, I'd be safe from these types because I'm not a political figure, but apparently, Guardians mistake me for being the president. I'm the target. I don't even get Secret Service agents. That's not fair. Not a fan. The ability to make Telefragger work basically like he does in Extreme Mode, giving him a dash, is actually pretty fun, although I almost never get to play with this curse because no one ever picks it, so I just don't have a lot of data on it. Hollow Tiles is an interesting curse. Sometimes I love the concept until I get to a high rise and remember why it is the true Antichrist. It's really fun until you get to the towers. What can I say? It's more trip mines. Like, I don't know what you want from me. A snarky comment? I don't got one, I'm sorry. It just adds more trip mines. I can't really comment much more on it. Nothing is a really interesting curse because it kind of works like a forever altar of purgatory, and that's kind of neat. I do wish it was a little higher on the priority list though. Like, come on, Mart Slide is not that bad. Ever want to have a player from the Lakers chasing you? Well, now you can. I almost never jump over the Husks because I prefer to break their ankles myself, but seeing them be so tall is actively terrifying at times. If your teammates are competent, Deadly Melody is the freest curse of all time. If not though, then you'll have a clock with a penchant for musical instruments on your ass faster than you'd ever expect. Typically though, this doesn't cause too much trouble and isn't the worst thing to go against. Sea mines are kind of a nothing burger threat in Nullscape anyway, so having one chase you after you activate it is really just a neat idea. Although it almost never comes into play because you're never really just activating sea mines. Ward Infection is just Deadly Melody, but now you can have a blob come up through the ground and tickle your toes a little. I really like Mart though, and it's always a pleasure to have more of him on the field. Now I'm wondering how many Marts you could possibly have in a single round. I don't think I've ever actually been fooled by a Beacon Mirage. Even if you are, the actual status effect it gives you isn't the worst thing in the world, especially because, say it with me now, I play Glider. No matter what you do with the sea mines, I doubt they will ever be an actual factor in 99.9999% of the time. This, though, I suppose does make it slightly more likely for them to be a problem, but you'd have to have fully tricked out sea mines for it to be. The most overrated curse in Nullscape. Lap 2 is really only good if you want to save your gift collection during collapse. Otherwise, I see no reason to pick it over any of the other really cool and really completely awesome economy curses. Tweaked odds is just gambling, but better. I like gambling, but better. Plus, if you never hit the altar of chance, then this is just a free curse. It gives you the RNG when you want it. That's kinda neat. Bigger trip mines. Outside of them being just slightly bigger, these don't really do anything. It's nice to have it though because it lets you actively see the trip mines better, so maybe half an upgrade, half a curse? Fake count is what I imagine Amnesia feels like. Otherwise, if you have radar, then this is essentially useless, especially because, say it again, I play Glider and can just see the percent of the gifts collected anyway. Accurate Telefagor just makes him predict your vertical movement too. He usually isn't very good at it though. Sometimes he gets you just right, but usually not. Yeah, he isn't the smartest guy on the block. Lost Embers is such a nothing burger curse. I don't think I've ever died because of Lost Embers. If you can count, then you can do Lost Embers just fine. Though, to be fair, I am talking about the Roblox players of Nullscape. Yeah, so maybe having them count isn't such a great idea. Kelowna has curses that are so non-detrimental to your run that they're basically free. Burning Bouquet also falls into this category. It's not even annoying, it's just there. Lower Gravity is the same deal. Who actually ever realizes that lower gravity is active? Maybe for like the first 5 levels, but otherwise I've just never realized it's there. That's probably why it's an early game curse. Malfunction is the first curse to actively make me pay attention. I love Malfunction, until I die to it, and then I don't like it. The idea of Malfunction is really nice, though, and the ticking sound does itch my brain in a certain way that I can't really describe. I don't know, I just like it. High Roller is for those who don't think gambling with small odds. You're an all or nothing kind of guy. Like me. Also, it turns the die black, so that's pretty cool. Mighty Gong is annoying in the beginning, but after like maybe level 15, then it doesn't really become that big of a factor, though the amount of times I've fallen into the void on a low level because of Mighty Gong is more than I'd like to admit. It makes ICBM slightly more accurate and explode bigger. That's pretty much it. On high rises it's really bad, but otherwise, again, just keep moving and it really isn't that big of an issue. If you have 2 stacks of it though, God bless your soul. One less choice gives you one less choice. Some of these names are really on the nose, huh? Having less choices at the beginning of every round is detrimental, but I like the challenge that it brings. It makes me feel more like I'm forced into a bad position. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Razor Bloom isn't so much a curse as they are an enemy, but I'll count them anyway. With how often people use jump pads and grapple points, it's never really an issue. Plus, it's annoying with its screech. Otherwise, pretty well designed though. I don't even realize more ringing is ever in the game. Having enemy rings the bell does basically nothing as far as I can tell. It's just there, more nothing burger curses. Barrow Trauma is interesting. It makes sea mines bigger. This is the only curse that I feel actually makes sea mines even somewhat of a threat. Also, the name is metal as hell. Barrow Trauma? That's such a cool name. Have you ever wanted to see the effects of being an American? Just look at the cursed bigger Mart. It makes him fat. And faster because he's bigger? I don't know how that works, but it does. Overall, pretty nothing burger curse, but Mart is adorable, so it automatically gets a higher placing. My favorite economy curse is Fragile Gifts. It not only allows me to play faster because I'm an impatient person, but it also lines my pockets faster too, so I see this as an absolute win. If you're bad at gift collecting or playing Spirit, I suggest lap 2 though, because you can fall behind really easily with this. Having an enemy fake a dash is really cool, and Problem Child does exactly that. I think having mechanics like this makes Baby a lot more fun to go against instead of just making them fast. I like neat little things that increase interactions that enemies have. I like this a lot. I really like Husk as an enemy, and random Husk is really interactive to me. It makes me feel a lot more skilled than I actually am because I weaved and broke a few Husk's ankles. Speaking of Husk, Husk Express is interesting to go against because now you can no longer go through them. You have to jump over them or kite around them. I know I said I don't really like to jump over them earlier, but forcing me to play against enemies in ways I wouldn't normally is one of my favorite ways to buff an enemy, just like a Problem Child. I really like this curse. So you know how Baby just often makes these really ear-piercing noise when it attacks? Well, with Pacifier, it stops doing that. That just gives it an instant A tier curse in my opinion. Baby's noise is so grating it actively hurts my ears and I have to turn down the game. Void Implosions is not so much a curse as it is an area denial enemy. It's really interesting how much your movement can get cut off in different ways in this game, yet they are always forgiving enough that you can just like walk through them. Pretty good and dangerous if you aren't paying attention, and just fun to go against. Conga Line just adds more Husks. The more the merrier. I want to be able to play a game with like 30 Husks. Give me a sandbox mode where I can have 50. I want to feel like I'm popular, okay? Controversial, but I love Spring Loaded. I love being thrown around and manhandled by a giant chess piece. Having that free air is nice as glider as well, although if you have resonating shockwaves, this becomes an absolute nightmare. I love Bullet Hell. Ballet of Blades does that for me. Having 4 waves of swords that you have to memorize is so fun and interactive. Even if it is somewhat RNG dependent, I don't care, it's fun. March's Slide just barely misses out on the top 5. It makes him goofy. He slides and he just doesn't kill you anymore. It's just a fun and goofy and silly curse, and I love that. March's Slide gets so much hate for no reason, and I love this curse. Further Husk makes me feel like I'm a lot more skilled than I actually am. Plus, I can say that it's making me better because your muscle memory has to be a little different to play with Further Husk better. Random Spawn is just not a curse, it's a gift from the heavens itself. Not only does it make your party able to blitz through the game a lot faster, but it also makes you have to see your surroundings first before you do anything. I like that. So you remember how I said I like Bullet Hell? Blade Carousel also itches that little itch in my brain. Plus it's nice eye candy. Dodging a blade that spins around you looks a lot more impressive than if it isn't spinning, even if it isn't that much different. This is very much so a rule of cool curse, and I am so down for that. So you know how during Collapse all the platforms away from the beacon destroy? Well, what if it's the opposite? Inverse Destruction does that. It makes gift collection during Collapse more fun. You get more fanny packs, and gives me a reason to aura farm instead of going into the beacon. Hot take, but Oblivion is my favorite curse in this game. I don't know what it is about it, but it makes me afraid for my life in a way none of the other curses do. It obscures your vision and makes going over the void extremely dangerous. There really isn't anything like it, and I love Oblivion. Jesus Christ, that was the whole curse list. Jesus Christ, there really are 58 curses. My throat hurts now. My throat hurts now. Yeah, I'm not gonna make an outro. My throat hurts too much. Jesus.